What is up, everyone? Today on Seth Leroy Hustle Adventures, once again, my wife is going to be telling you how our week went. As you know, last week was rough. This week was not. 3 days, we made some good money. Without further ado, me and Everly are going to pass it on to Sarah. Let's go.
Hello everybody, it's me, Sarah, and I am back with another week of Cargo Biz Shiz. I'm going to tell you what went down this week and exactly how much we made. So I'll just get right into it. So we wanted to run on a Monday, but not much really came through. We had one thing try to get through, but basically they wanted us to do it for free. Pretty much we'd only make like $100 profit off of it, and it was going from Minnesota to Wisconsin. But we figured, actually, you know what? It's more worth our time to just stay home and be a family and hang out versus just make $100. So that Monday we just decided to just hang out and, you know, do what we do. So we woke up the next day on a Tuesday, and finally by morning or afternoon, we got a good looking run. It was from St. Paul to Galesburg, Illinois. It was for 431 miles, and we got it for $500. So that worked out perfectly. That was exactly what we were looking for. And it was funny because we thought, okay, let's not have another bad week like last week. Let's increase our radius and see if we can include states like Tennessee, Virginia. I think I said Pennsylvania too. So you'll see in our next run, we actually got one of those states. So after he dropped off in Galesburg, Illinois, he ended up getting another one. So I've talked about it before about how I would love for him to end up getting a morning run, and then hopefully, you know, later then be able to pick up another one and deliver it. This one was a little bit farther than what we were hoping for though. So it ended up being kind of like an all-night run, but either way, it ended up increasing our profits, and we're totally thankful for it. So anyway, right after he dropped off in Galesburg, he ended up getting one going to Tennessee, which is really cool. So we were like, okay, let's see what Tennessee's got to offer. You know, we're going to try it out and see if maybe we're going to add it to our list of states that we'll actually go to from here on out, because, you know, we like to stick to the Midwest, basically. So let's just see what Tennessee does for us. So he ended up driving all the way to Tennessee. Okay, so let's back up a little bit. I'm sorry, guys. Sometimes I get a little bit scattered on you. I don't mean to do that to you. But after he dropped off in Galesburg, he had to go pick this load up, like kind of more towards Chicago. And it was already like evening at this point. So he drove up to Chicago, picked it up. When he took this one, he agreed to do it. Usually he checks in with me first, but he just said, yeah, I'll take this one. But he didn't realize that he would have to be driving so far to pick up. And it's not very usual that like a brokerage firm or whatever company, that they'll agree to you being so far away. I don't know exactly how many miles away he was, because I usually measure things in time, but he ended up being like maybe 2 or 3 hours away from where pickup was in Chicago. So, and then he was going to have to drive to Tennessee after that. And he was thinking, oh crap, I shouldn't have said yes to this. And then basically his dispatcher was like, I'm sorry, yeah, you know, whatever. And then he was just so happy to get one anyway. He was like, whatever, we'll just do it. So he ended up just toughing it out and taking it and driving up through Chicago to Chicago and then driving to Tennessee. And it was direct. So the pickup was in Elmhurst, Illinois to Lawrenceburg, Tennessee. It was for 755 miles because of where he was for pickup. And he ended up getting this one for $675. So that was a good bulk of our money right there. I'm really glad he did it. It might have been a little bit hard, but you know, he got through it. And after he dropped that one off, he actually went to sleep and he slept all the way until the evening. And then when he woke up, he had a couple hours offers. He actually had one going back to Minnesota. But that's just one that they put a bid in for. They didn't actually get it. But then another one that they put a bid in for was actually going back to Illinois. But it was for the morning. So instead of holding out and waiting to go back to, or instead of holding out for the one going back to Minnesota, they just decided to take the one that was pretty much, they were saying, yeah, we want you to take this one, so let's just get it locked in. So they just decided to get something locked in for the morning. So this one, the one for the morning, for the next morning, ended up being from pickup in Nashville, which was nice, to Franklin Park, Illinois. So it ended up being 450 miles, and that was for $500. So he ended up waking up, picking that up, doing that all in the morning, and by this time it was like gonna be like Thursday evening, and we were hoping, you know, just praying that he could finally just, you know, get home. So actually on his way to dropping this one off, his dispatcher ended up getting one for him that was going back to Minnesota, which was really nice. We were super excited. We thought, is this like the perfect week? Because we were going to make our goal and everything. And we were, you know, hoping and praying that he would be back by at least midnight on, well, it would be Friday morning, but basically we call that Thursday in our house. And the pickup for this one was right down the road from where he was dropping off his last one. So we're like, how perfect could this be? But in our world, when we're thinking, how perfect could this be? That's when it goes from 0 to 10 real quick, and it ends up not being so perfect. So he goes there to pick up the load, and he realizes, they tell him that the customer never paid the storage fee at the facility, so he couldn't pick it up until they paid that. So he called the logistics company and said, hey, you guys have to pay this storage fee, otherwise I can't pick this up. So basically he was talking to a lady on the phone who was, you know, probably high up in the logistics company, and she said the customer usually doesn't pay their storage fee invoices until the mornings. So can you wait until the morning, actually? Can you do a layover? Seth was like, well, we weren't hoping for that. You know, he was thinking, why would you put this out for pickup tonight? Oh, and while he was going to go, like, pick this up, because even though I said it was down the road, they made him go and print something out so that he could pick this up. They were on him. Like, the brokerage company called him asking, where are you? Are you almost there? You know? So they rushed him and made him, like, hurry up just to get there, only for him to be told that he's probably going to have to do it in the morning. So he said, okay, so is there, what do you guys do? Do you pay me more then? And the lady said, well, there's we'll pay you $100 to stay overnight, you know, since that wasn't the agreed upon time. So he was like, okay, I need to talk to my wife. I'll call you back. So he ended up calling me. And he's like, so they're saying that it's not going to be ready until morning now. Like, what do you want me to do? And I was like, well, if you don't pick it up until morning, you're not going to be home until like probably 7 o'clock in the evening after dropping it all off. And I was really, you know, we were all looking forward to having him home on Friday. The kids, like, my son was crying because he gets emo sometimes about, you know, him being on the road, saying he misses him. I said, Rowan, that's the one. Rowan was crying and he wanted you home, and I was actually really looking forward to you coming back home too. Like, I need your help. I'm home with the kids. I don't want to be sitting here another day, and I have to work the next day, so it's like I'm not even going to see you at all if you don't come home. I said, and $100, like, that's not even worth being out another day for this bullshit. Like, another $100. She said the cargo van fee that they pay cargo van owners is just $100. Like, what would a benefit was like a semi truck or a box truck or something? Oh, what more? Just because the vehicle, you know? I mean, yeah, I guess they do make a little bit more money per day, maybe. I don't even know how that goes, you know, with their overhead and all their gas fees and everything, but I just didn't think that was fair. I said, that's not worth the time. I want you home. I don't care. No, that was a bunch of fuckery anyway. That was bullshit. How could they say that they'll have something ready on a Thursday and then say, oh, never mind? Like, why even put it out there? Why even put it on like load boards or anything and then demand that someone be there ASAP? Like, what the hell was that? So anyway, he ended up calling her. And this is the funny part. He ended up calling her and he was just like, yeah, that's not gonna work out for us. I'm sorry, but we're gonna have to pass on this load. And right away she got, you know, like, oh, we really needed this one. Okay, well, I'm gonna ask the owner of Musco Cargo, if that's okay. And Seth was like, I am the owner of Musco Cargo. You're talking to him, and I'm saying it's not okay. And so he called to tell me this after, and he told me what she said. And right when he told me she said that, I burst out laughing. I was like, no, that's so funny. So I had to let him have this moment. It was super, like, hilarious. He got to basically just tell someone, like, no, I own this business and I call the shots. I say if I'm doing this one or not. Like, this lady thought that she was going to be able to call, like, whatever company he was working for and make him stay. Like, super stupid. But anyways, so, you know, he broke the news to her that it wasn't going to happen. And he ended up leaving. And then, so he told his dispatcher to try to find another load for him or whatever. But, so while he left, he actually went to go, I don't know, get some food or something and just recoup after that whole fiasco. His broker hit him up and said, yeah, they're going to make it work for you. So they ended up contacting the customer, and the customer did pay that storage fee, and he was able to pick it up, but it wasn't for like hours later at this point, because they wouldn't have just contacted the customer to begin with. All they had to do was contact the customer and be like, hey, you need to pay this so we can move on. But it ended up being a drug out ordeal. And finally they agreed. So anyways, I'll tell you this one. It was from Bensonville, Illinois, going to Shakopee, Minnesota, and then back home. So round trip miles there ended up being 483 miles. And then the pay was originally going to be $460, but it ended up being $530 because his dispatcher made that logistics company pay a detention fee of $70 for his time, because he was there for hours longer than he should have been sorting this all out before they finally sorted it out for him and agreed to pay a stupid fee so he can get going back home. So when he should have been home at midnight, that didn't happen. He ended up doing it, and so he drove from Chicago and then super close to Shakopee somewhere. He stopped and he stayed overnight at a rest stop. He always stays at rest stops, never hotels, never pilots or anything. He'll just sleep at a rest stop. And then he woke up the next morning. And so, okay, between all of this, because this happened, he had to get his drop-off time extended, because originally they wanted it dropped off. I don't even remember what time, but they wanted it dropped off in the morning. And then after the lady told him he was going to have to do a layover and stay overnight, she said it might not be ready for pickup even until 9 or 10 o'clock. So anyways, going back to what I was saying, the dispatcher worked it out because he was staying there. He stayed there longer to even pick it up, and his sleep time was completely messed with, that he would be able to drop it off at 10:30. So he wakes up at you know, a normal enough time that allows him to even, he ended up being there at 10:15, but the lady contacted him while he was driving there and said, "Are you almost there? Are you gonna make it in time?" And Seth was like, "Yeah, I'm totally gonna be there by 10:30. You know, I'm probably gonna be there at 10:15." And the lady was like, 10:15? You're supposed to be there at 10 o'clock. I don't know. I'm gonna have to check with the customer and see if this is gonna be okay. And Seth was like, what the fuck? Like, they had it in email even. Like, they had it in email. So, Seth just thought basically this lady was like a power-hungry, power-tripping bitch, basically, who was annoyed at the fact that, you know, when she was trying to say, "I'm going to talk to your manager," he told her he was the manager, and then he ended up getting his way about getting it done at nighttime, you know, and he also got the detention fee. So at this point, he's thinking she's just pissed off. Like, basically nothing she tried to set out to do to be the Wicked Witch of the West worked out for her, and, you know, her power was stomped upon and she was pissed. So anyways, you know, he's really cool with his dispatcher. And his dispatcher's like, "No, I have it in email. And when you get there, send me pictures so that I can send it to the broker of when exactly you got there." So he got there. He ended up taking pictures of his van in front of the place or whatever, and sent it to his dispatcher. And under the picture, you know, it says the time that he was there. So he took a bunch of pictures, you know, all throughout the drop off and everything. And his dispatcher basically sent all the pictures and a picture of the email even saying, "Nah, he was here on time. This is the time you told us," and everything. So there's no way that they're gonna try to give him a slap on the wrist for being late or anything, because that's just bullshit. I don't know what they're trying to pull, but I'm assuming everything worked out okay. it should, because there was nothing even wrong. So, no, I'm just kidding. But damn, these people be like freaking petty. So that was the morning fuckery after the nighttime fuckery, and that whole logistics firm was just fuckery fucked. So glad we got that dropped off, and he was home by like, I think it was like 11:30 or something on Friday. So we still got the day that we wanted to have, and everything was cool. So we thought we were going to make our goal, but it turns out Seth spent too much money on, we'll just say food, but it ended up being coffee. He ended up spending like, how does one person spend $20 at one time at Starbucks? But he ended up spending $20 at Starbucks one night because I think it was the night going to Tennessee, because he wanted his espresso and he couldn't find any other place to get it. So I don't know. If you know Seth, you know he goes overboard with everything he does. So he was thinking, oh, I'm gonna have to drive at night. I'm gonna need probably like 3 double espresso, whatever tutti frutti, sweet drink there is. I don't know. So I'm guessing he bought 3 of them and just like rocked his night away on espresso, like driving to Tennessee. That's what he did. I don't know. He was just way too naughty with his food and his coffee money. But he did tell me he found out at Panera you can get six shots of espresso, and you get a hot cocoa with it for $3.60. That's way better than frickin' Starbucks. I think, you know, he spends $6 per drink with like 2 espresso shots there. So that ended up being like $18 at Starbucks. But yeah, he's, from now on, before he leaves anywhere, he's just gonna get, he's gonna find a Panera, and he's gonna get his espresso, and make sure he has it on hand just in case he has any night runs to do. So he's not frantically searching, because this kid needs espresso. Like, he can't drink energy drinks. He said it makes him feel gross. He won't do 5-hour energy. Regular coffee isn't enough. It's just espresso is what it is. And Panera is where he can get it for super cheap. So whatever. Just make sure you got that shit on hand, because there ain't gonna be no more spending $20 at frickin' Starbucks. I'll tell you that much. And another thing he says he's gonna do is, he has the McDonald's app and there's free stuff on there all the time, so he's just gonna take advantage of getting free stuff. I would make him stuff. Like, I make things from scratch all the time. That's what I do all week, but he will not take it with him. He doesn't want to have to heat it up. He doesn't want to keep it in a cooler. He's just very fussy when it comes to that. So he'd rather go to Subway or just get like McDonald's or whatever. And he's the man making the money, you know what I mean? Like, he's doing all the hard work, and I feel for him. So I'm like, if that's what you want to eat and that's what makes you feel good while you're doing all this, then go for it. But at some point, you know, there has to be a limit drawn, because, and gas ended up being a little bit higher this week too. God damn, gas. Like, why? It's going up so much. Like, when I would calculate gas, my high would be like $3.50. That's just, I would just calculate it all at $3.50, even though sometimes it wouldn't be quite that much, and then like not even count his food, and it would all just average out. But now it's like over $4 per gallon. I don't even know, like, do I start calculating gas at like $4.30 per gallon? or $4.60 per gallon, and then that's just it for food and gas, and it'll all equal out. So I way under calculated things this week as he was doing his runs, because I calculate as he goes along, just to see if we're making our profit or we're on track to make our goal with each run. And at the end of it, I was $100 off. So he ended up spending $100 more somewhere on food and gas than I thought. So anyway, the total for all runs all together, the total was $2,205. He ended up spending $745 on gas and food. We're gonna put $292 away. We're leaving that in our business account for taxes and savings. And that's another thing, you guys, for taxes and savings. I don't know how much we're gonna pay in taxes. So I just say that's taxes and savings, because I'm guessing we're not gonna pay all of that into taxes. So whatever doesn't get paid towards taxes will then become savings. So anyway, the total profit that we made, and our goal for the total profit is usually $1,200. But we made $1,167.83. Not too far off, not too bad. Whatever, we'll live. So we're gonna leave $152.25 in our business account for our insurance. So the total that we are going to deposit into our checking account is $1,115.58. And after we pay all of our bills, we're gonna have $337.58 left over. So I guess it's a good week. Ended up being way better than last week. I don't know if you watched that video, but last week was a doozy. So this week I feel so much better, and we're keeping Tennessee in our whole radius of where we're gonna go, because that ended up working out quite well. It'd be cool to get a run to Tennessee on a Monday. Hell, we could like do this in like, well, we did do this in like 3 days. Maybe we could do it in 2. But so anyways, we learned something new. Add Tennessee in to our runs list, and yeah, pretty much made our goal, and we are good to go. So thank God it wasn't a repeat of last week. And if you want to watch that video on how crappy we did, you can. I'm embarrassed of it, but it is what it is. And also with all of these runs, Seth does a video to each of these runs, so you can watch those too. But anyway, I'm gonna have to get going. My children are downstairs, like, oh, when's mom gonna be done? I want to go back upstairs. So I gotta get going. But it was nice talking to you guys. I will be back next week around the same time. So if you want to, please like, comment, subscribe to our videos, share. Please share our videos. I don't know who else would want to see this besides you guys, but maybe you got some friends that want to do this too, so share with them. But I will see you next week, hopefully with another good week to report. And yeah, see you next week. Bye. Bye.